Hey, another follow-up video on the street rod build. I had some supplies come in, so these are our fender wells. There's actually two of them stacked there. I think I had mentioned in one of the other videos, maybe I didn't, that I was going to do a dually axle on the back of this, so I wanted to put in some tubs, and then I'm going to have my fiberglass fenders on the outside. So I need a wheelhouse that is durable enough to deal with a load range E tire if it explodes and comes apart, that will protect my fiberglass fenders from damage. So I looked at ordering some tubs, and they're almost $500 a piece for anything that is heavier than 20 gauge. Even when you look at Summit and Jegs and some of them, they have wheelhouse kits for drag cars, and they're 20 gauge steel with ribs on them like a 55-gallon drum. And that would be fine if it was built inside of the car with other structural points connecting to it, because those ribs add plenty of strength when it's inside of the car with other points of contact. But over half of this fender is going to be outside of my wheel wells on this with no support. So I need these wheelhouses to actually be structural. So I ordered myself a set of trailer fenders that are 36-inch diameter, 20-inch tall, and these are 14-gauge steel. So these things are very heavy steel, and then I'm going to split them and widen them out to the width that I need. Now that'll allow me to do this nice looking radius on the inside of the car where I want my kind of luxurious interior look, and then this squared edge on the outside. So I do own a bead roller, but I don't have any dies for it. I had bought it at auction and it came with only one die in it. So what you would use for this is like a Willwood bead roller for rolling sheet metal. But a bead roller that could roll 14 gauge is pretty substantial too, and I don't think mine is one of the heavier ones. So I don't have the equipment to make the nice looking bead roll like that on the heavy gauge steel. So it just works out better. I think these were just shy of $100 each. So for $200, I get the heavy steel form that makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to control my roll or anything like that. And I get the nice rounded interior edge and the sharp, crisp outside edge that will mate up with my fiberglass fenders. So it saves me a lot of labor. So I always try to think of ways around complicated things where, great, if you've got the money, spend the $700 to $1,000 and get some professionally made wheelhouses exactly to the size that you want. But if you're not a pro builder, $750 for a set of wheel wells is pretty damn expensive. But you can go to Northern Hydraulics or eBay or Jegs or whatever and buy these trailer fenders for $100 a piece and then widen them out to the width that you need. And A, they're a hell of a lot heavier than anything else that's out in the market. And B, you can fit them to your design a lot easier because you're already reworking them and you're not into them for a lot of money. If you just paid $750 for something and it's not fitting the way you want it, to cut those up is pretty hard on the pocketbook that you just paid that money and you're hacking them up. But if you paid $100 a piece for these and you're hacking them up, it doesn't hurt nearly as much. But anyways, then there is a pallet of our 20 gauge, 16 gauge, and 14 gauge steel for our floors, firewall, wheel wells, and some of our car. I think there's 8 or 9 sheets there. So that's gonna fill in all that airspace in there and make our fenders wider. And then our frame is sitting in pieces over here mixed with some snowplow stuff and other iron. But as I said, I'm using angle iron for my frame. So there's some heavy angle in there that is designated for this project. I was debating on whether or not to joke about this particular box tube being my frame, which is 3/8, 3x6, but I'll just keep this a little more sane and sober for everybody because there's a lot going on here. There's a Caddy engine that I just shot a video of a little bit ago, and my rear hatch still occupying quality floor space and pieces of the other truck. But while we're doing all this, we're also doing concrete work and everything else in the shop. So my project is kind of in the middle of everything, annoying everybody. But that's one of the advantages of owning the shop, is they can be annoyed with me all they want, but they can't do anything about it. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see what we get done tonight and tomorrow, because I'm still trying to set up forms for a concrete pour that was supposed to happen today, and I had to bump to Monday because we just ran out of time. So thank you for watching. Keep watching for more updates on the street rod project.